welcome back to my kitchen. And today, on this beautiful day, I'm going to teach you how to make the apple pie filling to go along with those handheld pies. So we're going to first take an apple, and you could use any type of apple. Granny Smith usually the best, but all I have is Honeycrisp today, so I'm going to unfortunately have to use that. But I would recommend a Granny Smith apple for this recipe. Okay, so we're gonna just take a vegetable peeler and we're gonna slowly go around the top of the apple into a circular motion and take that top layer off. Then you're just gonna take your vegetable peeler and go straight down until you hit the end of the apple. And you'll do this all the way around. You could do this with a paring knife as well, but I think maybe a vegetable peeler would be a little bit safer for you guys. So if you have one of these, I would recommend you try it with this first. I'm just gonna go all the way around. We're gonna peel about 4 apples today. So once you've peeled all of your apples, you're gonna take a chef knife and cut them in half. Then you're gonna take your chef knife, put it on the flat surface, and cut it in half again. And you're gonna do this with all of the apples. Then you need to core the apple. So you're gonna take a paring knife, you're gonna lay it on the side, and just take a nice slice with your paring knife and take this part off. You don't want any of those seeds, and you just have to be really careful when you do that. Or you can take your paring knife and you can do this way. Do it this way, but just make sure when you get to the end that you just stop so you don't cut yourself. And just do this to all of the apples. Hi guys, I've chopped all my apples up. So now I'm going to get ready to put them in the frying pan in some melted butter that I caramelize a bit. Hi guys. So at this point, you're going to turn on a skillet, a heavy duty skillet, at about medium-high heat. And you're gonna put some butter in there and melt that until it gets sort of like a toasty brown color. So let that go for a few minutes. So you want to keep your eye on it, and you see that toasty brown color and that foam forming? That's your signal that it's time to put your apples in. You want a little bit of golden brown there, and you want to see that foam. Once it gets like that, you're gonna add your apples. You're gonna let that butter coat your apples. I'm gonna go for sort of like almost a soft apple butter type texture to my apple pie. However, some people like their apples to be a little bit firmer. It's entirely up to you, but I'm gonna try to create sort of like a real soft mixture. So at this point, I'm gonna add a little pinch of sugar. Salt, little pinch of salt. I'm going to add about 1/4 cup of sugar. I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, maybe even 3. And I'm going to add about a teaspoon, maybe a teaspoon and a half of cinnamon. Wow, you guys, this smells so good. That beautiful smell. I love to cook because I love all the smells. So my apples are gonna swell up and then break down because I'm going for almost like an apple butter texture. So they'll just keep swelling up and breaking down as I stir. However, again, if you don't like that texture, you can keep them a little bit crunchier. So as you guys can see, I'm trying to take this well, I am taking this, I should say, to the soft and sticky stage. Again, because I want the apples to be really soft, almost like an apple butter. So you can see how it's kind of getting sticky. If it's really sticking to your pan at this stage, you can add a little bit of water to make it a little softer and deglaze the pan. However, my pan is doing real fine, so I'm just gonna leave it as is. Hi guys. So at this point, you're gonna take those beautiful apples that you just sauteed in that butter and cinnamon and sugar, and you're going to put them on a plate, kind of spread them out, and let them cool down while we get our dough prepared. So as you can see, I have the butter pastry dough that we prepared yesterday in the previous video, and I'm going to cut it in half because I'm probably not going to use all of it for these handheld pies, and cut it in half one more time to prepare to roll it out. So once you take your dough, you're going to roll it out to about an 8-inch circle. Now obviously it's not going to be a perfect circle because this is handmade dough, but the best circle that you can get is fine. So go ahead, and it's about an inch short, tap it down and kind of secure it with your fingertips so that it gives it a little bit of security. Then you're going to take it and you're going to fold this part over that end part. Just fold it over all the way. So you're going to roll this out to about an 8-inch, somewhat of a circle. It's probably not going to be perfect by any means, but you get the idea. You're going to put about 1/3 cup of your apple filling in the center. Then you're going to fold it over, leaving about an inch, maybe half an inch, so that it's not quite in half. Then you're going to, there's 3 steps to this. You're going to take your fingers and you're going to secure it down, nice and tight. If you can see that, secure it down, just kind of press it, and then you're going to fold this part over. This is the second step, and you're going to secure that. So that's the second layer. And then to make it look beautiful, the third layer is called crimping. And a lot of people say, oh, I can't do that, it's too hard, but actually it's really easy, you guys. Just take your 2 fingers, your thumb and your finger, and then you take your index finger of your other hand and just press it like that. And then you end up with this beautiful edge, just kind of, and it just gives it another layer of security, if you could see how that looks. And it's called crimping. At this point, you're going to crack an egg and about a teaspoon of milk, and you're going to create a little egg wash. And this egg wash, you're going to brush on top of each of your apple pies. So I'm going to take my egg wash, and I'm going to brush the top of each of my apple pies so that it creates a golden brown crispy color. And I'm going to take a little bit of sugar so that sugar sticks to the apple pie and gives it an outside crunch with that butter flaky crust. I'm going to take a little knife, I'm going to make a little incision in each one. Very important, you guys, because if you don't do this, your apple pie is going to explode in your oven and make a very big mess for your mom or your dad. And they will not be happy with you and could cause problems with your oven as well. So you want to make sure you put those slits in there so that that heat can escape. And then you're going to pop them in the oven. You're going to pop them in the oven at 400 degrees for about 20 to 25 minutes until you look for that golden brown color. They're gonna be good, you guys. Wow. You're gonna put them on a cooling rack and let them cool. You want to let them cool for about 10 minutes because they're sort of like a hot pocket. Inside they're going to be steaming hot, and you want to enjoy it and not burn your tongue. So let them cool for a good 10 to 15 minutes, and I'm going to have mine with a cup of tea. Oh, so good. Flaky, buttery. The consistency of the apples just perfect. Nothing like homemade. This recipe is an intermediate level recipe, making the pie dough and the apples and all of it from scratch. A lot of work, very time consuming, but a lot of fun and oh, so delicious. However, if you can't do the pie dough from scratch, maybe you don't have a food processor, you can buy the Pillsbury already made pie dough and do the apple filling like I taught you in the video and make your apple turnover that way. You guys can do one of two things. You can either make the apple turnovers and send me a picture with you in the picture, and you can even send me some pictures of you preparing it. That would be awesome. Or you can do the attached form that goes with the video worksheet that goes along with this recipe and do that for credit. So you have two options. You can either make them and do that, or you can do the video worksheet so that I know that you've watched the video and you understand the process and what it takes to make apple turnovers. I hope you guys are all staying healthy and safe